I'll save that for the spoiler review. For now, gonna wear the usual getup, you know, bring a little professionalism to this world of madness. All right, let's talk Rogue One. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So Rogue One, a Star Wars story is a movie that fills in the gap between Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars A New Hope, kind of. It's actually a little closer. It really is the story of that opening crawl of the original Star Wars. Yeah, that's the story. In that you have Jyn Erso. Jyn Erso gets picked up by the rebellion. They're like, yeah, we need your help with something. Long story short, at that point, they find out there's a super death weapon that's supposed to eradicate planets. There's gonna be an imminent weapons test, and now they gotta take the plans and, you know, there's a lot to love about this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. First of all, Jyn Erso was great. Felicity Jones plays Jyn Erso very well. She's just a welcome addition to the entire Star Wars cast as a whole. You know, you saw that line from the trailer where she was like, I rebelled. You're like, but is she gonna be good? Don't worry, that line's not even, I don't remember the line in the movie at all. Point is, the crappiest line in the trailer isn't actually in the movie, and that's a good thing. Also, the standouts of the Rogue One cast are K2, the droid. Yeah, named after a mountain. He was awesome. Dude was hysterical. The audience was roaring at everything he said. I loved everything he said. He's just a sarcastic dick. And Donnie Yen's character. Donnie Yen was rad. Donnie Yen's character lays some depth to the Force and the Jedi and who can and cannot use the Force in some way, shape, or form. I just thought he was great. I love it when characters add complexity to already existing lore. He did that for the Force. Take the fact that this movie is jumping into already existing lore. At that point, it's like, all right, what's it gonna do with the lore? Just like the Rebellion, for example. The Rebellion in here, they're not squeaky clean. It's not like, ooh, Empire bad guys, Rebellion good guys. It is, you know, it is. Let me rephrase, if not elaborate. What I mean is that there are some parts where the Rebellion guys just kind of make a call or two where you're like, that was kind of dick. Because it's an ugly world with an ugly empire and you're in an ugly civil war. And it's gonna be ugly, and sometimes the good guys are gonna have to make calls that ride the line right there. Morally ambiguous moments, and I thought that was really cool. It just made the Rebellion not so squeaky clean. I also loved Krennic. He's great. I mean, if you're signing on to this movie for Darth Vader because you saw Darth Vader in the trailer, don't. Vader is sparingly in this movie. In fact, I would say if Vader was not in this movie at all, the movie would be no different. He doesn't do much. That's not a negative to the movie. I'm just saying, you saw Vader in the trailer. I want you to keep your expectations in check on that. But Krennic was great. He was a good antagonist coming after these guys. He has a job to do. He needs to get this battle station under control. He needs to get things working. Solid Imperial douche. Now, does this movie have flaws? Yes, it does. It being a review, gonna name them. The lead up in this film, the build up, it's not always smooth. It's a bit choppy. You're being introduced to these characters, like character here, character here, character here. That's a lot of characters that you don't really have the backstories for, but this movie's like, hey, here they are, because we gotta get going. It's not always the smoothest thing ever. And Forrest Whitaker plays Saw Gerrera. I feel like Saw Gerrera's in this movie for no other reason other than the fact that they wanted a character from the Clone Wars animation, now still alive, to show you, hey, it all ties together. Really, the flaws in the film are in that first hour of build-up. The rest of the movie is really good, if not great. It's entertaining, it's action-packed, it has a great sky battle. Like the battles, the fights, the skirmishes in Rogue One are some of the best in Star Wars yet. It's super intense. At a point, they're like, all right, we're doing the thing to get the thing, trying to keep it kind of vague for people who might not know what I'm talking about. I was on the edge of my seat, just white-knuckling it like, oh my God, do it. Importantly, what this film did is it moved Star Wars into another kind of box. Like every Star Wars movie you look at, you watch, and it feels like a Star Wars movie. This one does still feel like a Star Wars movie in the sense that it takes place in the Star Wars universe, but it made it a bit more down in the mud, a bit more gritty, a bit more for adults. Example, you look at the Stormtrooper armor in The Force Awakens, it's always like very clean, the whites are very white. Rogue One, you see the Stormtrooper armor, it's all like dingy, dirty, like it's been through war, the guy's just lounging like, oh, I just want to punch out. I'm pretty sure is my shift over. Kevin Smith actually said it best. I think this is what he meant by it. He said something like, Rogue One is on the level of Empire Strikes Back or something like that. I'm paraphrasing for sure, but that's what he tweeted. But he's right in the sense and perspective that I have reached on this. When Empire Strikes Back came out, it was like one of those, oh yeah, okay, it's good. But as time goes on and you think about Empire Strikes Back and the layers in Empire Strikes Back exponentially gets better. I feel like that's Rogue One. When I walked out of this movie, I was going to give it, it's certainly worth watching. I'm buying on Blu-ray. It was great. But as I started thinking about it, the more I really liked it, and the more the flaws in the beginning of the film started to subside. And there's a scene, anyhow, I better shut up before I start. I just want to talk about it. And I will say Rogue One, a Star Wars story is awesome-tacular. I will say it like this. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, is like the female orgasm. It's a little slow to start, takes a bit to get going. Once it does, it's a solid climb to a really powerful climax. It has some problems with character and pacing in the first act for sure, but in the end, it all comes together. And I mean, really comes together. When you're out of that movie, you're like, I want to pop in A New Hope right now and watch that. All right, guys, so Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? The review's a little early. Are you looking forward to seeing it? What are you hoping you see? Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.